You buy an Undead Chronic t-shirt, undeadchronic14.com. You can go to his stream. It's Hammerhand and Undead Chronic right now, live on the air. So go check it out. Hey, Mick, good to see you. How's it going? In England. Yes. Go over to Undead and Hammer's on there. I might share a little bit of it later. Good morning, Chris. How are you? Is it morning? The hell time is it? It's 11:43, I guess, by you. Okay, yeah, it is morning. It's 1:43, United States of America, Central Time Zone, St. Louis, Missouri, home of Budweiser, and that stuff. Fabian Farina, Mohamed, Chris Mitchell, Mick Butler, all here. Again, Undead Chronic is live right now, so if you want to check him out, there it is. Buy a t-shirt. Get a customized bong. What did I say? What did I say? Here, I'll put it right here. Undead Chronic. Chronic is live right now with Hammerhand. Oh, yeah. We post that, and then I can put it on the thing. See? Oh, God, it's magic. It's magic. How did he do that? I don't know. It's a button over here. Anyway, so I was poking around. Jeez. My stomach hurts, and I don't know if it's because I listened to this whole video. I think maybe. So it's a couple of three young women, and I thought it'd be interesting to get the perspective of the young, right? We know the glorious Steinums, right? They're always bitching about whatever. You know, I mean, Steinum's in her 70s, I think, by now. One of the, second wave, big leaders of the second wave movement. And, some of these ladies are, they're getting old. So what does the young generation think? What do you think? I mean, hey, they got all the fruits of, Gloria Steinem and the fembots from the 60s and 70s. They got all the fruits of that. And what do? Do they just enjoy it and say, my God, I'm glad those women made the sacrifices so we can be here in the Western world where women have the more privileges than anyone who has ever existed on this planet? Anyone, kings, queens, princes, anyone. And what do? They still bitch. The fembots still complain about this and that and things that do not exist in general in the world, in the West. And yet they still think they need this toxic movement, don't they? Of course we need fembotism. Well, because there's more CEOs. So we have three young women here. I believe they're Australian. What do they speak down in Australia? It's Australian, ain't it? Take off, hoser, to the Great White North. So it's three young women. I would guess late teens, maybe. It's not really safe. I mean, the comments are commented out. Of course, wow. We can't have anybody commenting on our video because you know why? I don't have any idea. So it's called City of Whittlesea. And like I said, they sound Australian, maybe. But is there a Whittlesea, Australia? Hoser? I'm sure there is. So let's jump in and see why we need feminine. And I can tell you, I'll give you a preview because this is a long one. Maybe we'll only go halfway. You'll get the idea. Let's see. They talk about guys giving them attention, which is unwanted at the time. Okay. And so then we talk about clothing. And then we talk about women's opinions are not listened to. And then we talk about a real problem. Women in some third world countries are not allowed to get an education. Well, okay, there's something with meat. There's a weighty problem. We can talk about that. But of course, Western feminist doesn't give a shit about that. They live in the West. If they lived in the third world, they'd have a legitimate beef. Hey, I can't get an education. Not in the West. And they're doing nothing about it, by the way. They're not in the streets marching so that girls in Afghanistan can go to school. Doesn't work that way, you see. The Western fembot, the only thing she cares about is what benefits her. See? I mean, let's just cut through the mustard. Well, let's not bullshit ourselves. They do nothing unless it directly benefits them. If they talk about they want to help men, it's to help men do better for women. That's the only thing. But this is chock full of bullshit. So let's go. Let's see
Hey, welcome to Figuring It Out Together. In today's episode, we will be tackling the issue of feminism with Abia, Anna, Leanne, and Sienna.
Okay, so there's 4 of them. Sorry. Okay, hi. Hi, ladies.
So to start off, do you think gender inequalities exist today?
Of course. Just like the inequality for fewer men in college than women. Fewer male teachers in elementary school. And soon to be fewer doctors in medicine that are men. We're going to talk about that. Is feminism going to do anything? No, boys. Come on. You know better than that.
And possibly, could you give us an example of where you've seen it?
Well, you'd think with all this oppression in the West, in Australia of all places, we all know. Australia, come on, down under. There's got to be so many myriad examples of women being oppressed by the evil patriarchy, right? It's got to be millions of different things women are suffering, right? Let's see if we can come up with a couple that are really important.
Sienna?
I definitely think gender inequalities exist today.
Yeah.
It's so prevalent. It has been throughout our entire history, and even today.
Oh, it's so prevalent. It is so prevalent. You should be able to just boom, rattle off a list of these inequities, these inequalities. The oppression of women. There ought to be just like a whole page of all these horrible things. It's so prevalent, isn't it? And what do we get, gentlemen? Anything?
And I think some examples of today is it's still there's still such a hierarchy, I think, in jobs, in businesses and things like that.
A hierarchy. A lot of businesses, the army, the government, a lot of things are hierarchical. I don't think that's a problem. Maybe she meant patriarchal. I don't know. Maybe she meant it.
And even just in small interactions, how just women are they're not taken seriously for the things that they say, for the opinions that they have.
I mean, did it ever occur to this young lady that maybe her opinion sucks? It's not because she's a woman, not because she's a female, not because maybe her opinions are garbage. Just like men have to deal with other men and other women. If your opinion is shit, nobody listens to it. Or they say, what? Get out of here. Has it ever occurred to these women? Or is every word that drips from their lips supposed to be like manna from heaven? Where do they get this entitlement? Maybe your opinion sucks. It's just that simple. And it's not because you're a woman. Maybe your opinion is garbage.
Just things like that. It's definitely.
I might be wrong here. I don't know.
Still,
but that's my opinion.
very, very real today.
You're on a radio show here, and you spend 20 minutes talking about your opinion. How are you oppressed? How are you oppressed? Why what is feminism going to do to fix this problem that doesn't exist? I wonder. Wasn't Ronald Reagan said something like, the left, it's not that they're stupid. It's just that everything they know is wrong. What did I say?
Yeah, and we also say we need to teach them when they're young.
Them meaning men, because men is the problem, right?
To not objectify women.
Okay, yeah, go talk to God. Go ahead. Excuse me, God, Allah, could you help us out here? Men are attracted to women. Could you do something, please, dear Lord? Allahu Akbar. Anything? Nothing. Go talk to God. Go ahead.
To say, I was on a run and people my age started.
No. Oh my God. The first evil, huge, earth-shattering problem that we have to tackle.
Catcalling me. And we're in the middle of a public park. What?
What?
Oh my God.
And
oh my God. Some guy showed me attention. Gee whiz. I guess he wasn't attractive enough for you, huh?
My friends are laughing, and then
Because it's never catcalling if the guy's attractive. That's just, oh, it's so cute. Oh my God, he's so flirtatious. If he's tall and hot. But if he's just average Joe, forget about it. He's evil. Put him in jail.
there's girls with them as well who are laughing.
Yeah, everybody's having a good time. What a shock. People like to have fun. Ooh.
Yeah.
The center of attention you were for 1 second. And this anecdote, of which there is no proof, makes it onto a radio broadcast. Oh, look at me. Woe is me being an Australian woman. Look at that. Some guy and a couple of people, they whistled at me. Oh my God. Let's stop the presses. We've got to get this figured out, boys.
And I'm like, what is this?
He thought you were hot. So
That's crazy.
But then I
yeah.
also was like, if I say something, they look like they're about to bash me up.
Yeah. So I can't say anything. So they're going to beat me up. Oh my God. I wonder how they get these fantasies and phantoms in their mind. I wonder if it has something to do with the indoctrination of bullshit they get in college. Think maybe, yeah.
I just kept walking, but I was like, what is this?
Oh, you mean they didn't attack you? You just kept walking and you walked away without a scratch. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think
That's-
that just shows like how much of an issue it is, because
That some guy whistles at you and nothing happens and you go home. Oh my God.
when you are catcalled, you can't really say anything back because it's always like one person against like this big gang.
Mm. Mhm. And it was the cute guy just didn't do it. It was the other guy. It's a problem. My goodness, you can see the weight of these problems these young women have to deal with. Some guy paying them attention. Mhm.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
this huge like mob mentality
Don't worry. In 10 years, you won't have to worry about that so much. Trust me.
kind of aspect to it.
Uh-huh.
Like I
Yeah.
said it
Now here's Anna. This is the way I would do it. Go ahead.
stuff back to them once, like when I was in the city with my sister and someone like yelled it out from the car and I was like, you too. Like I say stuff back like that, like, thanks, you too. And
Boom. End of story. There you go. Perfect. Or don't respond or ignore him. Anna's not like, oh my God, I'm afraid I'm going to be murdered by this gang of thugs that whistled at me. I mean, come on.
like I know I look great. But like,
yeah.
like that's because you're in the city. There's so many people around you. If something's gonna happen,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
it might be like a bit more. But I'm like, I'm just on a run by myself. I'm
Uh-huh.
wearing a huge ass jumper that's covering half my body. Like, what is this?
You're a female, and men are attracted to females. Sorry. Again, call God. 1-800-CALL-GOD. See what he can do about it.
That's
yeah, and that
crazy.
just goes to show how, like, as much as we would like to think that it is, like, this world, our society is still not safe for women. Like, it's in so many ways. Like,
Okay, point out a few of these ways where women are not safe. In the Western world, in Australia, how they're not safe. Go ahead.
just going for a run, you have to be, like, you know, like called out and just interrupted and made to feel uncomfortable. Like,
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it'd be uncomfortable. But come on now. Oh, somebody whistled at me. Oh my God.
Like, and
besides, let's think about this just for a minute here, guys. Let's just say that this is the severe earth-shattering problem that these young fembots make it out to be. What do you expect the government or somebody to do? What do you expect is going to happen? We should have retraining, do not whistle at women. You know, a lot of guys are just not anymore, you know? Are you happy about that? Are you? No, really. Especially if the cute ones don't whistle.
and that's just like, you know,
I mean, come on. We all know the freaking story here, right? If it's a dude she doesn't find attractive, it's catcalling. If it's a dude she finds attractive, he's flirtatious.
one aspect of it, but there's so many other things that just make this world that we live in still so uncomfortable and
Remember, strong and powerful women. You go, girl. Fishes and bicycles. Well, everywhere I look, there's something unsafe for me. Really? Really?
unsafe for women for just doing normal things.
So when you were running, these guys ran you down and did bad things? No, you just kept running. End of problem. But Anna, or not Anna, whoever this is, she's like frightened of her own damn shadow, for God's sake.
And guys, I think I honestly, I think I kind of jumped the gun there by asking, do you think gender inequalities exist? Because I think one of the most important things we need to be talking about is what
Yes.
is actually feminism to
How
you.
about what exactly is an inequality? Would you like to define that? Right at the get-go. What exactly is it that you're talking about? wouldn't that be nice to know? Wouldn't it? Data Wasteland, what beer are you on? This is first beer. So yeah, still got 2 more. And we might need more. I don't know. You can hear this is going to be interesting, maybe. I hope you enjoyed. Oh, by the way, Undead Chronic is live right now with Hammerhand. Go buy a t-shirt and have fun. Okay. What is feminism? How do we define it? Oops. I always do that. Why did I do that? I don't want full screen. Come on. There we go. I hit the wrong button, Chief.
Because we've seen how this word has created so much controversy. And
it's not the word. It's the connotation and the denotation. It's not a word. People aren't afraid of words. People are afraid of a socialist movement pretending to care about equal rights for women, which they do not, for women have all the equal and more rights than men in the West. The movement doesn't have a purpose anymore, so why does it still exist? Can you spell communism? I think you can. Give it a shot.
People get triggered as soon as you say I'm a feminist. So, Anna, what would you say feminism is?
Yeah, let's hear what your definition of the fem word is. Here we go.
Feminism is standing up as a woman.
Just like your friend there who's afraid to walk through a park because some guy might whistle at her.
And like
strong and powerful.
You want to be equal to a man. You don't.
Yeah, you want to be equal to a man with all the rights as men, but you don't want to put in the work to get it, and you don't want the consequences of acting stupid, making poor decisions. No. Women do not have to be held accountable for that. That's man's work over there.
Don't want to. There's no. I want to be better than a man. I want to be higher because that's what it's stereotyped now. Because a lot of
excuse me, you and your ilk continuously complain. You didn't get it in here, but eventually I'm sure it'll come out. There are more male CEOs than female. Well, if you were to become a CEO, you would be 1 out of 500 in this country, in the Fortune 500. I would say that's more powerful than the vast majority of men. And you keep saying that's what you want. So you say it's not about that, but it really is, ain't it? Mm-hmm.
Women, girls our age and stuff are just saying, oh, we're better than men. I hate all, they keep saying, I hate all men. And that's not being a feminist in my
no true Scotsman
eyes. Because you're saying, I hate all men. Now you're categorizing every single man on the planet.
That's not real feminism, see? That's not true feminism, is it? Okay.
And saying they're all the same and that you're better than all of them, which is what we were fighting. We just want to be equal. We want to be taken seriously.
And I would gladly take you seriously, except you believe in things that don't exist. You're afraid to go for a walk in the park because a guy might whistle at you. You're strong and powerful. You want to be taken seriously. And yet you still believe in fantasies that are not actually happening in the Western world. I will not take you seriously if you believe in phantoms.
And I think that's like...
Sorry.
No, you go.
And just acknowledged for like we are capable of doing what they are, what they can do.
Okay, great. Well, then show me something. Do men freak out and be afraid of being attacked if they walk through a park? You're a big girl. You can do that. You don't have to worry. You're in Australia, for God's sake, one of the safest countries in the world. And yet you see boogeymen behind every corner. You're scared of your own shadow. But I'm just as good as a man. I'm strong and powerful. Really? Well, why don't you prove it? Instead of ragging on and on about some dude who whistled at you. Yeah?
And I think that's something common you see kind of just in every group. Like there's always like the extremist to any sort of like group that has a certain belief.
Maybe, did you consider, young ladies, maybe since you're not one of the man-hating femme types like that, maybe you're the fringe. maybe the mainstream fembots are like that. Just saying.
And it's unfortunate that a lot of the time the public only sees that kind of specific sample of women who think, no, women should be better than men.
They're treated better than men under the law. Yeah.
All men are idiots. Like,
well, some men are.
We all hate men.
Yeah. Well, not. Yeah, that stereotype obviously doesn't apply to all feminists. But any rational, sane person would understand that. Duh.
And I think it's really unfortunate that people instantly think we all think that way.
Well, you all think in a delusional sense. What do you believe in? You believe in a grapefruit culture. You believe that men and women doing the same job get paid differently legally. Excuse me. Legally. Except it's been illegal in both of our countries for decades to do that. You still believe that. You still believe there aren't enough women in engineering because of some oppressive system, when in fact, it's likely due to choice. Yeah, you believe all that crap. And I'm supposed to take you seriously. Right? Okay. 1 in 5, 1 in 4, 1 in 3, all complete lies. Yet you believe it. And I'm supposed to listen to your opinion and take you seriously. I don't think so.
Yeah, and I think when we talk about the actual word feminism, like I have done a lot of research on this as well. So
Indoctrinated fembot.
I'm just like, it's actually fascinating because there's such a stigma that that this word has.
And it's not the word, dear. It's the actions of the people who call themselves that.
And sorry.
And it's the delusions, the fantasy world which you live in, where you're oppressed in the Western part of the world.
And it's because that we associate the word feminism with female aspects. So we're already...
It's a women's rights movement. At least it was. What would...
Like, we already are just conditioned to not take it seriously or to question its credibility.
Well, like I said, when you live in a fantasy world where things you believe in do not happen, I do question the movement. I do not take it seriously. Oh, well, I do take it seriously for other reasons, but I do question its credibility. Because with a straight face, they're telling us that in the United States, in the West, in Western countries, we do not take the crime of grapefruit seriously. It's just, boys being boys. You tell us that all the time. You know that's bullshit. You know it's complete nonsense, and yet you still believe it. Don't you?
Things like that. So this word that's supposed to be meant for the quality of the sexes and for empowering both men and women.
Again, gentlemen, let's talk about the contradiction here. Now, we live in an evil, oppressive patriarchy in the West, designed and built to benefit men. Why would we need feminism to help men be empowered? What sense does that make? Doesn't make any sense, does it? Of course, because it's feminism.
Just because it's got the word feminine within it, it's already created this stigma around it. It's like Leanne said, it's just, it's only being used to classify people who do all these extreme things and these
and these wrong things that completely undermine what feminism really
completely
is.
Undermine what feminism really is.
See, I have the knowledge. I was handed it on tablets behind a burning bush. I am the true feminist. What you see here, that's not real. Those aren't real feminists.
And yeah, it just takes away from the true meaning of the word.
True Scotsman. Boom, 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 boom.
It takes away from the message of feminism, and that is equality of the sexes.
Except if the inequality is in favor of women, then we don't say a damn thing. Do you, fembots? such as in college, reproductive rights, divorce court, all that other crap. Not a word has been spoken to empower the man. Oh no. Oh no. See, equality in college would mean 10% of the female college students would have to drop out. And 10% more male students would have to be recruited to go to college. That's not happening, is it? No. As a matter of fact, Joe Biden just issued a new gender equality pile of bullshit that will help to, I guess, pay more women to go to college. Excuse me. I don't think the problem is that. But go on.
Whoa, I never, like, that is so true.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Like, makes so much sense.
To you, in whatever fantasy world you live in, I'm sure it does.
A beer?
Jeez. Sorry. Yeah, I had a beer. Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, that just explains about why, like, just the word feminist itself triggers a lot of people.
Uh-huh. Because you live in a land of delusion. That's why.
And I think it's because we as like a society, we really need to educate ourselves and kind of understand what feminism actually is, instead of getting it confused with other ideas and other concepts and other opinions.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because not everything which like we've seen on social media and everything, obviously not all of it is true.
I mean, all you have to do really is say, okay, look, you're feminist, right? Yeah, I'm a feminist. Here for women's rights. Yep. Name one right that you have as a man in the United States or in Australia, in the West, Europe, European countries, the Western world, that a man has that you do not. Which one of those rights do you not have? That's it. And it's like, well, I've been down with but abortion. Exactly. You have the right to not become a parent if you don't want to. Men do not. So that's over and above what men have. Do you understand you have that privilege? But the CEOs, and obviously you won't shut them up because they are women, but at least they'll kind of like, oh, yeah, gee, I wasn't taught that. And then they'll call you misogynist and Hitler.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that.
I'm sure you do, Leanna.
Adding on to that, how do you think that stereotype has affected you? So I know with myself, I've kind of been afraid to say that I'm a feminist in a public setting because I know the connotations that are around that.
Mm-hmm. Why? Why are those connotations there?
And I know that if I say that, hey, yeah, I'm a feminist, and I believe that women should be equal in like a school environment or just a public environment.
Equal. Define, please. What do you mean by that? In a school environment? Are you kidding me? Again, where do these people live? Some kind of fantasy world. Okay, maybe Australia is different, but I just talked about it. In the United States, 60% of college students are women. That is an obvious inequality. If you want to play the numbers game, it should be 51-49. Where are the plans to get more men into college? Nowhere to be found.
I know people are going to be like, oh, she hates men. She thinks men shouldn't exist. All this.
Well, I mean, there are some radical fembots that do. Listen to that chick from Australia. Can't think of her name. Oh, my God.
So I think it's kind of affected my...
Is every feminist like her? Whatever her name is? No. Of course not. But there is a fringe. There is a fringe.
ability to express my opinion.
And there's probably the vast majority of women who think they're fembots, but they're just really women's rights. That's what I want. Okay. I'm with you. Women should have the same rights as men. Okay, good.
Yeah, 100%.
And you do. And more. So again, what's your movement about?
And it's not even just like if you bring up feminism or the topic is it's there and you have something to say and you just see the eye rolls or you hear the sighs, and it's not even because she hates men. It's just
it's because we've heard it all before. And you're spewing bullshit that doesn't exist in reality. Now, is there a nugget of truth? Yes, absolutely. Is it widespread in the Western world? Hell no. But you and your ilk paint it as normal. Look at a normal distribution curve. The weird stuff that's happening that is legitimately to be complained and fixed is on the wing of the normal curve. It's not in the middle.
Because not another woman talking about feminism as if it's just like some boring topic that goes on and on and on.
It's because
When really, like in reality, the severity of it and the actual, the meaning of feminism and why it's still an issue, that is just missed completely by so many people because
we're stupid, dumb rubes and we need to be educated, right?
it's not talked about enough, or it is and we're not heard.
It's not talked about enough. Again, where do these people live? Which universe do they inhabit? Because it certainly is not this one.
So it's just a cycle of just being given a voice and then not being heard. Or
maybe what you're saying is nonsense. That's why nobody cares what you say. Oh, we live in a grapefruit culture. Really? What are the statistics? Oh, 1 in 400, 1 in 500. You mean it's not 1 in 5? Well, no, we'll just redefine that to mean anything. Oh, okay.
Or just not being given a voice at all.
Yeah, you've been given a voice, and we don't want to hear it. I mean, what is that, a guarantee? Oh, you're given a voice, so everybody's going to listen to you. No. Especially when you're saying rote, repetitive bullshit. Kind of like I'm doing now. I mean, how many times can you say the same thing? Really?
And that's the irony of it, isn't it? Like, you talk about it all the time, and people.
Isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
Say, oh, here she goes again, repeating whatever she said.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Objective facts do not back up your assertions. There are no facts to back up almost everything you say. Nothing. It's made up fantasy, bullshit, lies, and extreme distortions of reality. Yes. And so when you say it again, we're like, oh my God, really? Seriously.
But like,
you expect me to take you seriously, but you're believing in things that don't happen. How? God.
We're only repeating it because nothing's being heard.
Yeah. Like there's a reason that this is still a conversation that needs to be had.
Okay, let's have the conversation. What problems have you pointed out that affect women? Well, so far, running in a park and someone whistled at you. How do women even live in such a horrible, oppressive patriarchy? I don't know.
Yeah.
And what people are seeing is when they see that stereotype of a feminism is someone going off their head at someone, trying to going at it because they've lost it. They're like, you pushed me, and now I'm going off at you.
Because we don't listen to you.
Now you're just making fun of me and think I'm crazy.
No comment required.
Which that's why I'm like, when someone does just roll their eyes or makes a comment and stuff, I'm like, all right, I just stop and I'm like, let's talk about this.
Okay, let's. What are the problems you want to address? Let's talk about those.
What's the issue? What have you grown up and seen?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's educate you.
You uneducated rubes.
So you're not ignorant about what's
stump jumping hick fuckers down there in Missouri.
happening.
Yeah.
And it's also so interesting to see how when women get passionate or get annoyed or get frustrated when they're trying to talk about issues that affect them.
You have a forum now, right now on YouTube, which is being shown on my channel on a live stream with a couple of more subs than you. People are hearing what you're having to say right now. So why don't you say something? Give us a little beef here. Give us some meat. Give us something to say, yes, that is a problem we need to address. Go ahead.
That kind of behavior is condemned and it's it's completely, you're shut off completely because of it. But that type of behavior in men that are passionate about something that affects them, it's got an opposite effect.
Maybe when men get passionate about something, they're actually talking about things that exist. Maybe.
Keyword,
yeah.
stop being emotional. That's their keyword.
Oh my gosh, that triggers
Yeah.
me so much. Like,
Again, proving the point. What does getting triggered mean? Getting emotional. But they don't even understand, do they? It's just, oh my God, ridiculous. Okay, who's here? 26 of you guys. You have no football to watch. What's up? One fast stack. She's like, wow. Chrome Dome Omega, I believe you meant indoctrinate. Yes, I did. Thank you. Michelle Guevara. Like, yes, so articulate. Let's talk, dude. Cosmic Vagrant is here. Hello. Riggs is back in the building. Yeah. Where is Zombro? Is he here? Oh, he's here. Yeah, he is. Hello. How's it going? And Polskabov is still missing in action. He's probably still at the bar, sucking down vodka shots and beer.
like if a girl starts shouting, and I'm not making a generalization.
Uh-huh.
I've just seen in like the environments that I'm around, and I don't want to say any, like, identify anyone.
Why would anybody expect you to identify anyone? That's so stupid.
But if like a girl is like speaking really loudly or they're angry or something, literally the go-to dialogue is, "Oh, stop being emotional."
Well, is anger not an emotion? When did that not become an emotion? Just curious.
Don't start crying now. Like, I'm not crying. I'm just angry. Like, I'm passionate.
Anger is an emotion, in case you were wondering.
I don't know how that relates to being emotional.
Because in her head, what she hears is, he's calling me emotional because I have a period and I'm a woman and I have to pay tax on my tampon. Like, it's amazing how some women can think. All this shit's going on at the same time in their head. Big old hamster wheel up in there, hooking all this shit together that means nothing to the current moment. Oh my God, he said I'm emotional. I bet he means I have period pain and my tampons are taxed and women are oppressed. And oh my God. Yeah. Get on the hamster wheel. Yes.
But it's
Yeah.
almost kind of seems like we're whining.
It's also interesting how some people, like a lot of, how do I say this? Okay, hold on.
How do you?
It's interesting how a lot of people support, like they say, okay, women should be allowed to wear what they want and everything. But at the same
absolutely. Go ahead. Sure. Wear whatever the hell you want. I don't care. Have fun.
time, for instance, people who like women who wear the hijab or wear headscarves, they're constantly being criticized. And
really, who's criticizing women for wearing the hijab? Who's doing that? Who are these people? Could you point them out? I don't care. If that's what you want to do with your life, go. I could care less.
I'm like, why? Like,
I couldn't care less. I know.
If we're allowed to show as much as we want, like wear whatever we want, why aren't we allowed to cover up as much as we want at the same time? You know?
You are. So again, what are you complaining about? Do what you want. Nobody cares.
So it goes both ways.
And you want to wear a hijab or whatever, a niqab, or I don't know what the terminology is. You know, if you believe in Allah, the Prophet Muhammad, and you're Islamic, that's maybe part of the religion. Okay. So that's what you do if you believe in, Islamic teaching. Okay. What the hell you want me to do about that? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the stereotype there is, that like if you see someone that's completely covered up and wearing a hijab or a niqab, they instantly think they're being forced to do it by like their parents or anything.
Well, it is part of the religion. So, I mean, you could say forced, or you could say it's something they do because they believe in Allah and the Prophet Muhammad. I don't know. I mean, there are some Jewish sects, Orthodox, I guess, that they don't wear their hair short or something. I don't know. It's to show that, you believe in God or Yahweh, Allah, whatever, right? It's part of your belief system. Okay.
But really, it's probably just their choice. Like, they're doing it because they follow their religion and they want to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they want to be a part of the Islamic faith, that probably might be part of it. Yeah.
But yeah, you're totally right, Abia. Like, I feel like there is also the other side of not letting women just wear what they want to.
Who? Oh, excuse me. Who
Yeah,
is not? Excuse me. Shh. Who is not letting women wear what they want to? Could you name names? Could you give us an example of someone somewhere who is saying women cannot wear what they want? Just any example. Just pick one. I mean, it's so prevalent, this sexism and evilness against women within the Western world. Could you point out a few people that say women shouldn't be wearing whatever they want? Who are these people? Just curious.
Equality is liberty. Like, it's freedom for choice
And no responsibility for women. No accountability.
and for opinions. And that isn't specific to like wearing less or more clothes. That's like, just even then, like, see, if we're not criticized for wearing less or showing skin, then we're criticized for doing the opposite. Like, it's just
nobody gives a shit what you wear, ladies. Nobody cares. Do you understand that? Nobody gives a shit. I mean, am I wrong, guys? I mean, who cares? I mean, this is the weighty stuff that we're talking about with these young fembots. Absolutely amazing. All right, let's get Undead Chronic queued up. I got to go take a leak and get some more beer. Let's see. I'll be right back here. Let's see what he's up to. Can we go live? All right, go ahead. Buy a t-shirt. Is he still live or did they cancel?
No, I don't need to.
There he is. Okay.
I don't even need to look up the fact that bastards or kids that had their fathers ripped away. Jonathan Y says, "Yo, I can't find your PayPal. The link is there, bro. The link is in the pinned comment. I don't know why you can't find it. You just click the link.
IR back.
I only showed like 80 times while you were gone. I promise.
Oh shit, man,
Not
that's a
82.
lot. Big ups to everybody dropping those super chats. Thank you so much, man. That means a lot to Chronic. It means a lot to the comic. It means a lot to further progression on these channels. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. See, just random guy says, "Yo, Chronic, any news to chill on? I'm not on the USA, so don't know. What do you mean chill on? I mean, like, to watch? It's weird. I mean, to really stay informed, you have to watch like 3 or 4 news channels, see what's in common, and then put a filter or two of anti-symmetry on it. So, like,
Yeah.
But they'll just straight up lie too. Like, they'll just straight up lie about what's happening. That's also kind of bad.
Well, there's a channel out there that I've come across. It's called 504 Cut, 504 CUT. This dude covers all of the protests going on everywhere in the world. And it is fucking rocking in England, Germany, Italy, Australia. They're all over the place, man. People are really starting to come out.
You got 20 Decepticon Transformers protesting Dave Chappelle, and it's wall-to-wall news coverage for 2 weeks. You get hundreds of thousands of people beating the shit out of pigs in Australia. Not a single peep.
Yep. Yeah, it's unfucking believable. Well, in the chat, Riff Magos, hail Hammerhand. What's up, Master Wrench? How you doing, brother?
Sir Gita says, "Hammerhand, I saw your video with Terrence Pomp. You're a natural." Yeah, again, I think I've already complimented you a couple times on that one. I like that one a lot. But I also saw what was it? Your recent long form one. It was like 9 minutes.
Yeah.
I gotta think. What was the title of that one?
Yeah, that would give them nothing.
The whole video, it's almost like I had the ghost of Lion McTowell screaming in my ear, "Give them nothing!" I was hoping you put a soundbite of him saying that, but it's okay. But it was a good video.
Well, I wasn't trying to rip the man off, but that's just kind of what came to mind, when I was going to title it. And that's what I was feeling the entire way. Look, they're strong. They're independent. They got it going on. They got money. They don't need anything. They got a drawer full of dildos,
baby dolls.
Don't fuck with these people.
Mostly.
Don't give them anything. Don't give them your effort. Don't give them your time. Don't give them anything.
I mean, you got to wonder if the dildos come dishwasher safe. I bet they do. Why wouldn't they? Okay, let's go back to this pile of nonsense here. This, I was going to say they're microaggressions. I think they're pico or even femto aggressions that these poor young women believe they're oppressed. Okay, let's get back to it.
It's like an endless loop again.
An endless loop of just this criticism.
Of just this criticism.
And I think, okay,
Yeah.
it's like so many ways you can, like, how they look at it and other people's way of thinking. Because when you see, because you're thinking religion, how does these cultures come into feminism?
Well, if you want feminism to get into the Islamic faith, you're going to have to talk to Allah. Okay, so go ahead and do that.
And you see them fully covered
Or the Prophet Muhammad. Go have a conversation.
a hijab, in whatever, and you're also like attached to that culture and that religion. Right now, those women are also being not allowed to get any education.
You see, now here is the first meaty topic. And let's see, 11 minutes and 43 seconds into the video, we finally hit something that is an issue. Women being denied an education in some cultures. Could be Islamic, could be whatever, right? Women are not allowed to go to school. And yeah, that's a problem. So tell me, dear fembots, young, indoctrinated little fembots, what is Western feminists? What are they saying about this? Are they just giving a little chin music there? Not really doing anything about it? You know why? They're not. Because the Western woman, the feminist, doesn't give a shit unless it directly affects them. Get it?
They're forced to, like, out of education.
And that's a shame. That's a damn shame. Yeah. We were in Afghanistan, the United States, for 20 years or something, and the women were eventually allowed to go to school and everything, and then we just kind of pulled out. Oops.
Are they being forced to cover up? Are they all this? So, like, that's what they connect to it, instead of seeing that they've chosen to wear it.
We don't care what you wear.
Yeah, and just adding on to that, like, it's not just that. Like, for example, I'm a person who wears like a lot of baggy clothes. Like, it's just what I like wearing. I wear a lot of oversized clothes.
I do too, because I'm fat. But I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying, wear it loose, baby. Wear it loose.
I had people say to me, "Oh, like, why do you always wear like such loose clothes?" Like,
Who are these people, by the way, that are saying to you, why do you wear such loose clothes? Who are these? Are these men? Or are they women? Men don't really give a shit. You're still a female. You're probably attractive in some way. You know, I don't care what clothes you wear, right? I mean, yeah. You know, I mean, I look at Billie Eilish, right? People were ragging on her. I should say, not people, women were ragging on Billie Eilish for wearing loose clothes. It's like, well, she can do whatever she wants with her life. What the hell do you care? They're just getting all kinds of Twitter hate. It's like, leave the woman alone, for Christ's sake. Let her wear what she wants. Why do you care about that? Just curious.
Even on social media, you can see people saying that if you're not wearing like fitted clothes, you're not.
Women are saying that.
Pretty enough. Or if you're wearing like oversized clothes, you know, you're not as pretty, and you should like be showing your body and everything. And
well, that's their opinion. It might stink, but I mean, why we have an entire movement of feminism? Because women shame other women with what they're wearing. It's not really
like.
What do you expect the government to do about that? By the way, what do you expect society to do about other women saying you should wear tighter clothes? What are you expecting to happen?
It doesn't make sense, you know, because how does your beauty get defined by like what you wear?
I mean, for God's sake, well, I'm going to forget that we're a male and female species, and men like to look at attractive women in hot clothing. Oh my God. God.
And as long as it's your choice, then why do other people have a problem with it?
It's interesting because we're going to talk about men in suits here shortly. I guess that's.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, nobody has a freaking problem with your choice in clothing. In case you didn't get the message yet.
Everything.
Nobody cares. Apathy. It's the opposite of love. In other words, we don't hate you. We just don't give a shit what clothes you wear. Nobody does. Maybe some other women. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The only weighty problem you mentioned was that women in some countries and cultures are not allowed to get an education. That's a big topic. And what are you doing about that? You talked about it for what? 15 seconds? You spent the last 5 minutes talking about clothing. And you expect me to take you seriously. Really?
Yeah, and I think that's like one of the biggest problems with feminism today,
There's no problems with feminism. They're all perfect.
especially because I feel like a lot of people think that after the third wave of feminism, it just wasn't an issue anymore.
What is the issue? Clothing? Really?
Like there's so many like groundbreaking points of history where, you know, the first wave of feminism hit and then the second wave, and we were getting, you know, we were getting rights and we were being recognized, but it hasn't stopped being an issue.
What is it? What is the it? It hasn't stopped being an issue. What is the it?
Like it's in our lives now differently, but
What is the it, ladies? Could you define it? Maybe I missed it. What is the it? Please.
it's still here. Like, you know, we can vote now in most countries, not even all, which is still like, hello, that's an issue.
Again, there you go. Okay, another semi-weighty issue. I don't know which countries these are that women do not have the right. Probably maybe the Middle East or something. I don't know. But let's talk about the Western world where, gosh almighty, you know you have the right to vote. And you should. And you had it for hundreds, well, not hundreds of years, but certainly several, many decades. It's not a Western issue. And the other countries where some women don't vote, I guess, you don't care about that. You just bring it up and say, see, this is why we need feminism. Feminism doesn't do anything about that. They don't even talk about it except as a talking point. When there's pushback, oh, well, what do you need feminism? Wow, you're some women in some country, some island somewhere out in the middle of somewhere, they don't get the vote. Okay. What do you expect us to do?
But in like, especially Western cultures, it's still weaved into our lives in even subtle ways.
Subtle ways, almost hidden. Yeah.
Which just like it makes us doubt ourselves.
No. It makes us doubt ourselves. My fifis.
It gives us less room to be ourselves.
Which Western country do you not have room to be yourself? Which one? Tell us which one that is. Really? Go ahead. I'm waiting.
We're still very isolated in the fact that, you know, we have to be very conscious of the way that we speak in front of people, the things that we wear.
Just like everybody else. Just like everybody else. You know? Decorum. Tact. Things like that.
Like there's still a lot of restrictions, even if they're just...
Really? Which restrictions are they? Which ones? Oh, if they're unconscious. Oh, okay. So we don't really know they're there, right? They're subtle. They're almost hidden. It's almost as if they don't exist.
Unconscious, or they've just been rooted into the way that we think.
Yeah, rooted into the way that we think. An example, please.
It's still very prevalent.
It's so prevalent, she can't even give an example.
Even though so many people are just like, oh, but you have rights. You can vote now. Like, it's still an issue.
And still not defining it. But I assume it's feminism.
Exactly. We have to be like on it 24/7.
You know, because there's so many men marching in the streets to remove women's rights. All Western countries, all these men just want to take all your rights away, ladies, don't you know? That's why we need feminism. Yeah, I guess I haven't noticed the million-man march here in St. Louis to remove the 19th Amendment. I guess I must have missed it.
There's no break. If I'm going out on a walk or a run, I'm always like, is there someone following me?
Again, you're afraid of your damn shadow. You're probably afraid of your cat. I mean, for Christ's sake.
Is there
There's nothing wrong with looking around and making sure you're aware of your environment. Yes, that's what all people have to do. It's not a woman thing. It's an everyone thing.
Like, is there someone like I once stopped because I got scared of the sky
Again, scaredy cat. What the heck?
and I stopped, and I think he noticed as well, and he just smiled and like walked faster. So
I don't like people walking behind me either. Does that make me a feminist?
no, he stopped. So wait, no, I don't know which way this went.
She doesn't even know her own freaking fake anecdote. Amazing.
I stopped so he could walk faster, so he wasn't behind me.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, scaredy cat.
I've done that before.
And he understood and he smiled and he just kept going.
Yeah, he didn't hurt you. He didn't threaten you. He didn't grapefruit you. He just kept walking, which means you're making up phantoms in your mind, dear. Yes, you need to have awareness. You know where you are. You know where people are. And you're looking around, got to keep your eyeballs out. There could be a weirdo. You never know. This guy smiled and left. Didn't do a damn thing. And what are you doing? You're all worked up, afraid he's going to do something. Really? Really?
And I was like, I just didn't want to be in an uncertain situation.
Was he an African-American man? Because that would be racism, wouldn't it? Assuming that he's some kind of thug and criminal. Wouldn't that be racism?
Mm.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, because that's like the other thing. Like, there's so many rules. Like, we've just been told growing up. Like,
Really? So many rules. Son of a bitch. Really? When you're children, your parents set boundaries for you and tell you to look out for certain things. So it's horrible.
you'll be in primary school and you have to have
Primary school. That would be elementary in the United States, I believe. Primary, secondary, post tertiary, whatever. So these kids are in elementary school, like grades K through whatever, 6. Keep that in mind when you hear the rest of this fake anecdote.
have a chat with your parents about, if you're walking home from the bus stop, like, keep your keys between your fingers.
Well, son of a bitch. They must do some things differently down there in the land of Oz. Your elementary school kids have keys. Really? That's interesting. What are they going to use those keys for? Are they going to drive their car home in elementary school? See, what she's doing is mixing up anecdotes here. You see. See, now the college girls, man, keep your keys, and of course you're going to break your fingers if you do anything with that. But
And don't talk to strangers. Like, don't talk to anyone you don't know.
Good advice. And it's not just for women or girls, it's for boys too. It's like there are some creepy fucking weirdos in the world. If you don't know the guy, just don't talk to them. Don't get in a car with a stranger danger. Remember? It's not just for women.
And if, like Anna, you were saying that happened to you, like, if a man is walking behind you, like, stop, pretend to look for something in your bag until he passes. Like,
okay, if that makes you feel better, great.
there's just
But of course, you could look at the other side and say, if you stop, maybe he's gonna. Yeah, it's just God Almighty. Worrying about walking down the street.
so many things.
Really?
Just like putting.
You guys believe this shit? I mean, this is amazing. It's amazing to me. Mohammed El Sayed, kids and pass you soldiers after being. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I hear what you're saying. Arvero is here. Jennahudge. Yeah, good to see you. Who else is hanging out here in the chat? It's Riggs and Vero and Michelle Guevara, of course. From Paraguay, right? I think so. JR, for a minute, I thought I was walking with a... yes, 304.
Into our heads that just have to be our normal because
Lots of fun, just not for Marion.
it's unsafe. And this is just like for us. In other countries, it's so much worse and it's still happening.
Other countries, I'm sure it's terrible. But you don't live there. And feminism does absolutely zero jack, shit, squat, nothing about any of these other countries. It's a talking point. Western feminists don't care because it doesn't affect them. You get it? You feel me? Are we 100 here, boys? Yes.
And then, like, we bring up feminism and we just get eye rolls and sighs. And it's like, it's still an issue. Like,
it is still an issue. Again, no definition of it. So let's recapitulate, shall we? Well, you're talking about whistling in a park, clothing, and oh yeah, for 10 seconds, talk about women not being getting education in some countries. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow.
Sorry.
Exactly. Why aren't we teaching this at a young age to everyone?
What is this that we're supposed to be teaching?
Why isn't it something that is taught?
What is it? What is it we should be teaching?
And that's something that can be tied into like racism and everything. Why
All right, get out the white hood, boys.
isn't this taught at a young age?
What is to be taught? What?
So, and also just to add on to the whole topic, I think one thing that is very important that we should mention is that feminism also relates to helping men.
You knew it was going to get there, right? You knew it. Well, feminism is not just about helping. It's about helping men.
And I think it's something that a lot of people, they don't expect from feminism.
Because it's not about helping men. You're right to not expect that.
But it's also to empower men as much as it is women.
Again, I use the argument again, but if men are all powerful in this evil patriarchy in the West, why would we need women to help us? Just saying.
And I think there's such a focus on women because we are, like, as women, we're disadvantaged.
Do you believe they're actually saying words like this? Well, women, because women were disadvantaged.
For being women.
Are you fucking kidding me? Get the fuck out.
But for men, sexism is rooted in, men's thought.
So it's men after all then, right? Yeah. It's rooted in men's thought, meaning all men. Huh. I thought we weren't generalizing, ladies. We talked about the real definition of feminism, didn't we? Can't generalize that. But all men are sexist. Yeah.
Thinking that they can't be vulnerable or they can't show emotion.
Here we go. As you well know, gentlemen, when you hear this bullshit, what this means is they're not showing emotion for the female. It's probably because Chad Thundercock doesn't have any emotions for said female.
That kind of thing. Or
trust me, if a guy loves you, I love her, he'll let you know. Don't worry about it.
Just expecting.
If he doesn't, he won't say that. Easy.
In families that the woman should be home and not the man.
Who is saying that the woman should be in the home? Who is saying that? Where is the government mandate that women have to be home? Where's the law? Where is that women should be home? By God, there's not any law that says that. So, in fact, if this is a problem, women should be in the home. Which law should we change? What should be done about that? What should our legislators do to remove this burden from women? Oh, there isn't a law.
And when the man is home, that he's less of a man. That kind of thing. There's expectations that men have to strive for as well because of this issue.
Like I said, men live in the all-powerful Western patriarchal hellhole that women live in. And so, of course, if men want to stay home, they have that power. After all, the patriarchy is made for men and for the benefit of man only. We get it.
Feminism aims to eliminate this as much and, also empower men.
How are you going to eliminate the expectation of some families or some religions? How are you going to eliminate that they expect mom to stay home with the kids? What are you going to do? How are you going to fix that? Curious.
Men, which is something that often gets avoided or not talked about.
That's so true.
So true.
That really does. It breaks down barriers and stereotypes for men as well.
What if your feminist sisters were told that if a woman makes the choice to stay home with the kids and not have a big career, that she's not less of a woman? Why don't you tell your fembot sisters that women can choose what to do with their own lives? And yet we have a subset of feminism that believes women who stay at home, take care of the kids, and do the old 50s housewife routine are somehow damaged and being oppressed by evil men. Maybe, just maybe, they made the choice to do that. And actually, it's a privilege these days. No? Nope.
And I guess no one sees it like that.
See, feminism is about women doing what they want with their life, as long as it's being garden tools and getting a big career and chewing men and the children's and all that shit. See, if you don't go along a certain fixed path, you're not a real woman. You're not a feminist.
Until like now, when you said it, no one sees it like that.
I wonder what these fembots think of, wanting to get more women in power. That's a big thing, right? We got to have more women in government, more women in the positions of power. Okay. So I wonder what their thought process is on the new lieutenant governor of Virginia, who is an African-American woman and also a Republican. I wonder what they think about that.
And all they see is just women wanting to be like all the stereotypes about women.
Yeah. All those stereotypes. Yeah. What, that they stay home with their kids? Okay.
Yeah. Which is why a lot of men are so they just don't want to hear about it, or they just don't get it, because it's not talked about enough for them to understand that it's supposed to empower them as well. It's
No. We understand it quite clearly. It's not to empower men. It's to disempower men, if that's a word. It's to break men, to drive us as the evil scum we are out of positions of power. See,
to help them as well. Like even in the justice system, like there's more of a chance of a woman's sexual assault case to be recognized and all of that than it is for a man. Like,
no, she's absolutely right. This is another issue. Definitely an issue. It's odd though, knowing that there are men who are abused in this way, that when they bring up these statistics for grapefruit, they never do mention all the men in prison who get grapefruited. I wonder why that is. Any idea? Anyone? Bueller?
even men who
Because more men are raped in prison than women out in the world, in the country. Shh. We don't want to talk about that.
experience sexual assault, their stories are less likely to be heard and believed. And
Yep. You're not wrong.
that's an issue, and that's something that feminism tackles. It
Really? In what way? Oh, they redefined, did you know? Feminists sought to redefine the FBI definition of grapefruit. Did you know that? See, they're doing it for the men's, right? It was rather carnal knowledge of a woman without consent. Kind of what you would expect, right? So they redefined it to include gay men, but not men, not straight men. See, in order to be considered grapefruit, something has to penetrate something. So who do you believe is the penetrators here? So in other words, if you're gay and some guy does some bad things to you, yes, that is actually grapefruit under the FBI definition. If a woman forces you to, that is not, by the way. Great progress. Wouldn't it have been better to just have the definition to force someone to do something like that against their will, regardless of what the gender is? No. See, that's what feminism has done for men. See, we changed the definition.
it wants to get rid of things like this, of stereotypes like this.
Yeah. How much more can we? I'm on my third beer.
And I
so-
even read somewhere that depression and like suicide rates are higher among men than women. And
Yes, yes, indeed. It's an unfortunate fact. But normally, what you will hear from the fembots is that, wow, more women attempt, removing themselves from society than men do. That's true. Men, however, are more successful at actually doing it. It's horrible for anyone to get to that point. But you know what? Let's throw some more money at women to make sure that doesn't happen to them. Men, fuck them. We don't care. What's feminism thinking about that? Nothing.
I think it's mainly because of the social stigma which we have in our society surrounding men, which like prevents them from seeking help because of being judged and not being like, masculine enough. And then we have
Again, the premise is we live in a patriarchal nightmare for women. The entire countries in the West, built upon the fact that men built it and it's for the benefit of men. So why in the world, if a man wants to go seek counseling, can't he do that? Oh, he certainly can, can't he? And he should. I mean, if you're having some issues, I mean, there's help online, there's people, need to talk something, whatever. The problem is, see, women don't see men generally talking about their issues and stuff and why they're depressed and all that shit. You know why that is? Because it mostly has to do with women. So we're not going to talk to our wife about it. We're going to get together in the man cave, drink some beers and say, I'm having this thing. What do you guys think? Talk with our friends or go to a professional. There's no stigma there. So whatever you're making up in your mind here it's not working.
this whole other idea about what masculinity is actually supposed to be perceived as.
Yeah, 100%. Like
100, bro.
Just as there is expectations for women, there are expectations for men, and it's our responsibility now as a society, as we're growing and evolving, to recognize this and to talk about it.
Yeah, spew more words and do nothing. Yeah, that's going to be helpful. Yeah.
And yeah, I remember hearing a quote from somewhere that says like most powerful thing is a woman with an education.
See, we talked about men for 10 seconds. Let's get back to the women.
And that's what a lot of men I don't know, they scared about.
You guys scared women have a college education? Or they're more successful? You scared? You intimidated by these women who have a master's degree or something? I'm not. Doesn't bother me at all. Where does this shit come from? Oh my God, she's got a college education. Stay away from her. Well, in the sense, if she's got a degree in women's studies, yeah. Because you know what you're getting into there. Oh, that'd be a feminist volcano of bullshit. A woman who has an engineering degree or is a doctor or nurse, whatever, I have no problem with that. What are they talking about?
Don't know how to handle.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the most powerful
thing.
thing.
Yeah. Yes.
No, it's true. I think a lot of like countries and
a lot of other countries, not including the West,
who systematically they don't let their women be educated, and that's something that's still happening today.
Yeah. Not in the West, and it's nothing Western feminists care about.
That is a problem.
It is a problem, and you're not going to do anything about it.
And it is. It's because it's just like it creates a barrier.
It does create a barrier.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no involvement in those countries.
Now, excuse me. Let's think about this for a minute. And I'm not putting down any country or any religion or any culture. I'm just saying, say you're in a third world country, pick Shizakistan, whatever, right? Where are these women going to go and work in when they get their education? Where are they going to go? State Farm down the street? Ain't no State Farm in Shitstakistan. It's subsistence. It's agriculture. It's like things were 200 years ago, right? Scrape whatever you can out of the land and eat. Try to survive. So you might make the case, whether or not women are forbidden from getting an education, maybe it's misspent resources since there's nothing to do with it. Unless you leave the country. See, maybe it's that. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I still think women should have the opportunity. Definitely.
And that's like similar to the workforce.
Is it? Sienna.
How just women in power have to work so much harder to earn respect than men in power.
Really? Men don't have to do anything to earn respect. They just show up. That's been my experience. Hell, I just come in with my suit on and hell yeah, man. Everybody's like, oh my God, he's a bigwig.
Like a man in a suit is instantly respected.
Maybe in your mind. Yes. Among men, however, you have to earn it. Just because somebody puts a suit on doesn't mean shit. I've worked with so many people in suits that are fucking idiots. They just happen to luck in their position and they don't earn respect. They are not respected. They are tolerated. You understand the difference? Probably not.
And it's, deemed like important.
Barely tolerated.
Whereas a woman who's the same credibility, the same position, she has to earn her respect from the people around her.
Men don't have to do that though, right? Just naturally, we just go in with a suit.
It's even like in hospitals.
God. This is young females, people. This is the bullshit they're being told. Well, men just show up in a suit and everything's fine. No.
Like so many male nurses are, what's the word? Their thoughts, like they.
Male nurses. Yep.
Sorry?
It's prioritized.
Yeah, no, like male nurses are mistaken. That's what mistaken for doctors, and women doctors are mistaken for nurses.
Okay, let's just put a little scenario thought experiment here. Let's just say that most people going to the hospital in normal times, right? There's more stuff going on with, the milkshake here. But in normal times, who really goes to the hospital? It's probably old people. And what generation did they grow up in? They grew up in a generation where more men were doctors and more females were nurses. So you can call it sexism. You could call it whatever the hell you want. Or it could just be their life experience that most doctors were men, most nurses were women. You could look at it that way and just say, oh, these old people, they just grew up in a different time and blow it off as, I get it, whatever. No. Let's make a big deal out of it, shall we? I have to say to you, ladies, most, or if not all of my doctors and medical professionals have been women. Doctors. Yeah, I know.
Like it's just, and that's just one small thing, but it's still very prevalent.
It should also be known that
it's a very small thing. As a matter of fact, it's so small. It is a femto. 10 to the minus 15 on the scale of things you should be worrying about.
You don't need to be, if you want to be a working woman, you don't have to worry about not being able to have a family. Because that's something that can occur.
Excuse me. Whoa. Come on. Oh, my God. Are you kidding? Women have choices? Get the hell out of here. They're supposed to go to maybe college and get an MRS degree and have all them babies and cook in the kitchen, chained to the stove, barefoot. What do you mean women have choices? Come on.
You can have a healthy family. It's not one or the other. It's not, I'm going to be a successful working woman or I can only be a mother.
You can do both, but you can't do both well. Honestly. The women that can do that are superhuman to do everything well. I mean, it's almost impossible. Just 24 hours of the day. That's it.
Stay at home. You don't choose. You can have both.
Mm-hmm. I thought women didn't have choices in the Western world. They were supposed to be in the kitchen. The contradictions are stunning.
Yeah.
All right, so to finish off, I just want to say that although feminism has been raised a lot in social media and in the media. And
excuse me, Abir, you said not that long ago that nobody is listening. Now we're talking about feminism all over the place. Which one is it?
Just as a community, I feel like we can do so much better, and that this is only the beginning. And as a society,
there's such a long way to go.
and as a community and as a world together, we can raise our voices and take this movement one step further.
And where are we going with it? Could you point that out? What's the goal? What's the next step here that we got to do?
Yeah, and we need to educate the young ones from like primary school about equality and the fact that you don't need to look past women.
No, I don't know. I went to Catholic school, first 3-4 years of my life. They didn't teach me that I should look past women. They didn't teach that. I guess maybe it's the Catholic thing. That was 1969, by the way. We weren't taught that we should look past women and treat women poorly or not. I mean, if they're saying they ought to teach this, are they saying that the opposite is being taught now? Is that what they're saying?
They're not. You need to accept them and acknowledge how smart and capable they are.
Yeah, I'm from Missouri now. Show me. Don't tell me, show me how smart and capable you are. Then I will acknowledge that. Just simple, just like men. I know.
Yeah, 100%. And I think this is just one conversation.
All right, there's just some tailing off crap here. Well, what do you think, guys? These are 18, 19-year-old fembots who still believe they are oppressed in the Western world. They came up with, I think, at least one real meaty topic, and that is some women in some parts of the world are denied an education. I gave a possibility why that might be the case. Not saying it is, might be cultural, religious, don't know. But yeah, that would be an issue, certainly. Western feminists will do nothing about it. You got me? Mass Creation Broadcast. Do you have a guest here? I do not have a guest. No, I was just doing a video, but thank you. Big Pitch is in the building. Hello, what's going on? I can't stand listening to these mentally ill, whiny. I mean, Rob, I don't know these women. I'm sure they're wonderful and everything. How can they believe this crap? When right in front of them, they can see evidence that obviously is not in favor of what they're saying. This is not education. This is not feminine. This is brainwashing. This is indoctrination by colleges, by high schools, by the media, that somehow women in the West, in Australia, for God's sake, are oppressed by the evil patriarchy, and they have all this shit going on, and they didn't bring up anything, except some women in some countries are not allowed to get their education. They talked about wearing frickin' burqas and shit, and what clothes they can wear, and blah, 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 and their opinions aren't listened to. Just like other people. Your opinion is not God-given. The good Lord didn't send it down on a tablet, girl. Maybe your opinion's bullshit. But they don't even give it a thought. Well, I'm a woman. That's why people don't want to listen to me. No, maybe because what you're saying is crap. Our Pharaoh, at that age, you bastard, you. All right, I'm going to go. I'll see you guys later. Maybe we'll do another thing. Well, maybe. We'll see you. Have a good one.